Hello Aditya, congratulations for Duke University class of
Thank you
2028,
so
right?
much.
Yeah, class
Yeah,
of
2028.
2028. Yeah. So
Thank
first
you.
of all, yeah, huge congratulations, and I just want to know everything about your overall profile, your essays, your application, extracurriculars, and everything. So please introduce about yourself. Who is Aditya Singh?
Hi, I'm Aditya. I'm a computer science major, and as you said, I'm going to Duke University for the class of 2028. I enjoy tech a lot. I mean, you have to as a CS major. And apart from that, I'm also a rifle shooter. I did a project called Vakalat AI, which is one of my biggest things in my profile, which is a legal AI chatbot. And I like reading, I like binging Netflix, I like playing games on my PS5. Yeah, that's just a bit about me.
Okay, amazing. And please, can you explain about a bit about Vakalat AI?
Yeah, as I said, it's basically a legal AI chatbot. So we saw a problem in the society, me and my other co-founder. We saw a problem in our society where legal help in India is unaffordable and inaccessible to many. Because we have 1.4 billion people, and most of us can't afford even the initial consultation fees for a lawyer, right? In the age of ChatGPT and in the age of AIs and LLMs, I thought, why not use those technologies to make legal information something that everyone can access for free? So that's what Vakalat AI does.
Amazing. According to you, which is the most difficult part of your overall college application journey? What is the difficult part?
I would say writing essays definitely because I'm a big reader, which means and like I started writing some books online. I published on like some fan fiction websites a few years ago. So I started writing then. So writing I thought I was a good writer, but then writing essays when I try to condense myself into like three or four 300 word, 250 word essays, that's something that's really hard for me because if when colleges ask you what do you think are your biggest strengths or what do you think like summarize yourself in this amount of words, that's really hard for me. So I think that was the most challenging part.
Okay, okay, totally makes sense. And what about your you said that Vakalat AI is the best extracurricular. According to you, any extracurriculars which is not the best extracurricular, but yeah, learn a lot from that extracurricular, and you are connected because there are two types of extracurriculars. One is big extracurricular and impactful extracurricular,
Mm.
and second one is which is connected with your dreams, connected with your passion.
So I think two come to mind here. So the first one is shooting. I started shooting in eighth grade. So I'm a rifle shooter. I've played pre-nationals. I almost qualified for nationals. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, I started shooting in eighth grade, and that's something that's been really it's not a very conventional sport. People play cricket, football, basketball. Shooting is not something you think of when the word sport comes to your mind. But that was
Yeah.
the only sport I knew. Now coming into high school, when I realized that I need to start building up my profile, you need to have academics, of course, but you also need to have some extracurricular, something like music or dance or something, and a sport. Knew I needed to continue shooting as much as I could, so that's what I did. And shooting actually taught me a lot because it's a game that absolutely needs you to have to focus and to be like determined. You need to have your your mind be completely clear, and it teaches you a lot of self control, and it teaches you, and that self control actually helps you in everything else in your life as well because
Yeah.
you basically have a different level of control over yourself than most people. That's what I've noticed from in everyone who plays this game. Second extracurricular I think is my work as a freelancer on Fiverr. So Fiverr is basically an online platform where you can freelance whatever services you want. So I've been into tech for a long time, like since I think fifth or sixth grade. And back then that meant like when my family members came around, I would fix things on their phone or the laptop when they couldn't figure that out. So then I thought, ki, maybe I can market this, and that's exactly what I did. So on Fiverr, I signed up for some tech services, and within a few months, I started getting orders almost every day, and I've earned actually a few lakhs on that easily.
Oh,
And so that basically taught me how do I market myself, how do I market my skills or hobbies, how do I market them to actually earn money, and also how do I interact with customers, how do I promote myself and all that. So in a business environment, it really taught me a lot.
it's impressive because as a high schooler, and nowadays, according to me, freelancing is a little bit difficult. Too much crowd and competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are
Especially
doing
in
great.
COVID, the competition really increased.
Yeah, as you know that in college application there are four wheels. So what about your academic wheel? and academic journey?
So up until 10th grade, I was in CBSE. So my parents move around a lot, which means my schools almost like used to constantly change every 1 or 2 years. But in Chandigarh, like I was constant for like 3 or 4 years, sorry, 5 or 6 years in Chandigarh. But then at the start of COVID, when I started high school in ninth grade, we again moved to Delhi. So ninth and 10th, I did in Delhi in a new school and online as well. That was CBSE, and I just really got demotivated at that time, which I think happened with a lot of students, but more so with me because I basically had no one to talk to at that time, right? Because my old friends had their own lives, and I knew nobody in my old school. I hadn't even seen the campus. So I got really demotivated at that time, and my ninth and 10th grades weren't very, I wouldn't say they were great. Like my boards, I got 88%, which is not really something you are looking for when you want to apply to a top 20 or a top 10 university. I'd always been looking at the IB because that was an education system I felt coincided with me more, that I could relate with more, and that I felt would benefit me more. So as soon as COVID ended, I told my parents I want to go to an IB school, and so I went to a boarding school in Jaipur, GPIS, where I started the IB, and that was actually a very very good change for me because even from the first year, I think I did pretty well, and I have a 43 predicted in IB out of 45, which is a huge upgrade from the 88% in CBSE.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good move. And as for testing goes, the SAT I gave it twice. The first time I got a 1470, the second time I got a 1550. So I don't
Okay.
think there were
Yeah.
any problems there.
Yeah. It's a quite good score. So, any tips for SET preparation for students?
So yeah, so surprisingly, I think most people find, especially in India, most people find English hard and math difficult. Sorry, math easy and English hard. For me,
Yeah.
it was the opposite. I found math very hard and English was pretty easy for me. So
Okay.
yeah, because my original score, I had a 750 in English and a 710 in math.
Yeah.
So I needed to get the math score up. So I'd say for mathematics, most people should be fine. If you're from a CBSE or something background, like you'll do fine in maths.
Yeah.
But for English, start reading. That's the thing that helped me most. Like
Yeah.
if you start reading, if you have to increase your vocabulary, you have to understand like the etymology of words, why they are like, why do they mean, like I don't know every word, like what every word means, right? But if you read it from a context and if you know etymology, you can understand thoda bahut ki, okay, this is what the word is going to mean, and from there you can make educated guesses, which is how like I gave the SAT. And in this like and maths ke liye to I just practice and practice and practice.
Yeah.
And so
Practice.
like
Yeah.
yeah, second time I got a 760 in English and 790 in math, so it worked out.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Amazing experience. And what about any English proficiency test like TOEFL, IITs, which you preferred?
No, I didn't give any of those. I think
Yeah.
because from the IB you don't need to give it.
Yeah. 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 I just forget. Yeah. You are from Jay Shri Parival. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry. Okay. And what about your essays? Like any specific topics or any specific kind of story you shared?
So for my common app, yeah, I shared the story I just told you about ninth and tenth being
Yeah.
not very good for me, and because actually my counselor told me not to write about that story because he said it's too common. Like everyone went through that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and especially in the US, people shift around a lot. So no counselor, no admissions officer is gonna look at that and think, oh, there's something like deep here. But I feel that that was the most important thing that happened to me in the last 4 years, and it really shaped me as a person. So that's what I wanted to write about. So even though he told me no, I wrote like 5 drafts and showed them to him, and he
Oh,
rejected all of them. So I wrote 5 more and showed them to him again. And like at some point he gave up and he said, okay, this one is actually a good essay. So we worked on that and we finalized that and sent it in.
okay. So like what is the main reason? Like it's a really good essay or he just like frustrated, okay, every time he's come with the same concept. So now I have
I
to accept.
I
Oh,
think a bit of both. He did get
yeah.
frustrated for sure, but I think also it's that at the end of the day, it was a good essay and it reflected me really well. And I did could add, like I was able to add some factors that differentiated it from others. So yeah,
Yeah, and I love that because like many students they are just like sometimes they thought that okay I just have to get into those university, and if anyone suggests me anything so we can do that, like they are not considering their personal views and personal concepts, and you prioritize your personal views because like according to you your life changed during the like last 4 years, So you explained the reasons and everything. So I love that. And any essay tips you want to give to other students?
Like, see, you can't be afraid of writing. You're gonna have to write hundreds of drafts, right? I could show
Yeah.
you my essay doc right now. It has over like 50, 60,000 words easily. So
Okay.
you're gonna have to write. Don't be afraid of writing more drafts,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid of like changing your whole thing. Also, matlab, even if you were looking at something like this happened with me. So if I was looking at one essay from a certain like perspective,
Yeah.
like I was writing about shooting in one of
Yeah.
the essays,
Yeah.
and like I like that essay, so like I kept writing on it, kept writing it, kept changing it, but it never seemed to like completely work out. And but then I realized that okay, even though I like have spent this much time on this essay, maybe I should like change the whole thing. So I changed it to talk about my parents, and that essay actually ended up working, and that's the essay I sent into Duke, and
Yeah.
that like helped to get me in. So I'm saying ki don't even though you have put in time in one essay, like don't get attached to your essays basically.
Yeah.
Like change
Exactly.
your topic if you need to, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
And as I did with the common app, like make sure you reflect yourself in the essay. Don't write about an ideal person that you want to be, or you or like an idealistic version of yourself that you want universities to see. Show like the true yourself. Even if there are flaws, they expect you to have flaws. You're 17 or say 18, around that.
Yeah.
So like have like show your flaws, that's fine. Just on some level be true to yourself, not completely matlab sab mat likh dena, but
Yeah. Exactly.
on on a certain level be true to yourself
Yeah.
and project yourself in a good way, but don't
Yeah.
build up to an idealistic version of yourself.
Exactly, I'm totally agree with you. And these are the questions about extracurriculars and profile. What about your personal life? Like your friends who also applying to universities and family pressure. Like in few students, they have a family pressure. Okay, just focus on your studies, and you must have to get into good universities. What about your personal life?
So as for family, matlab, as soon as I decided I wanted to do CS, and Indian parents here CS, they're like, okay, BTech, IIT job. So
Yeah.
my dad had the IIT route planned for me, and I
Oh my.
think he like even though I've been saying, yeah, I want to go to the US since seventh grade. Like I was young, I don't think he took me very seriously back then. So in
Oh.
ninth grade, he put me into Allen for a JEE coaching,
Jaipur
and in
question.
3 days I quit Allen. I went
Oh
to
my.
him, I quit Allen. I said, मेरे को IB में डालो, मेरे को ये नहीं करना, मेरे से ये नहीं होगा, मेरे को US जाना है. And then like it took some convincing, but in the end, I did outline why I think it's a better option for me and why I think I'll succeed more there. He agreed with me. So family ka to like even right now there is some like before the admission, before my Duke result came out, there was some doubt from the like my father's side of the family कि IIT चल जाना चाहिए था, जेई की प्रैक्टिस करो, ये कहाँ. बट लाइक अब एडमिशन आ गया, अब तो कोई क्या ही बोल सकता है.
Yeah.
तो
Exactly.
फैमिली का तो वो है. एंड एज फॉर फ्रेंड्स, सो इन CBSE आई डिडंट हैव अ लॉट ऑफ friends who had aspirations internationally, but IB में तो सभी का है. और
Yeah.
yeah, lots of people have gotten in as well from my school, so yeah, I'm really happy for them as well.
Amazing experience. And Aditya, what about your dream university? Like now you got into Duke, but
अब तो
1
ड्यूक ही
year.
बोलना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But yeah, honestly, like 1 year ago, which is your dream university?
So seventh grade mein I went to the US. That's the only time I've been to the US.
Okay.
And towards the end of the trip, we went to Boston. So MIT and Harvard are in Boston. So we went on a campus tour of MIT and Harvard. Like just going to the MIT campus, I fell in love because that's when I decided, looking at the campus, looking at the robotics lab especially, that's when I decided I want to study in the US. And like going to MIT and Harvard both in the same day, I just looked at the differences. Even from the way the tour guys spoke about the campuses, the MIT one was really laid back and really
Yeah,
chill, and matlab, he constantly made jokes and told us
yeah,
fun facts and stuff. And the Harvard one was more stuffy,
yeah,
more serious, more. It's like this is the Harvard library. It's like this many
yeah.
years old.
Harvard.
We had this many books, right? The
Yeah,
MIT one was this is our this building. Some student played Tetris on the windows with LED lights so that was basically the culture difference I noticed between Harvard and MIT, and the MIT one really attracted me more. So back then I was like, okay, मेरे को MIT जाना है.
yeah,
फिर
okay.
नाइन्थ में जाके पता चला MIT कैसे जाते हैं, और फिर उसके बाद मैंने बोला MIT नहीं, थोड़ा नीचे. So
Yeah,
then I was aiming at CMU, Carnegie Mellon for
okay.
CS.
Yeah,
So But then what happened with Carnegie Mellon was they only take around 150 students for their CS program, which is very competitive.
Very,
And
very.
yeah, they already have a huge cohort of Asian CS males, which is like the stereotype, right?
Yeah,
So my counselor had some insights from an admissions officer friend he had in CMU who said ki we're gonna be like barely taking any CS males from India and surrounding regions this year, so I'll tell your student don't apply. So that was a huge matlab क्योंकि because this was only in July or August, I think. So
yeah.
not very long ago. Back till then, I was still thinking, okay, CMU, I'm going to apply to CMU. Then my counselor told me this, and it basically just changed my entire thought process, changed my entire like the journey I had planned out. Okay, I'm going to apply to CMU. No, I can't anymore. So then I was really like stumped for a while. So Duke University, I'd been looking at Duke for a long time, matlab, but I always had it planned as a secondary choice or a third choice, never as a first choice. But then I
Okay.
really thought about it more, and like this question even came up in my Duke interview. So the interviewer asked me, "Why are you applying to Duke as a first choice? Because it's not known for having a very good CS program. Matlab,
Yeah,
it has a good CS program, but that's not the reason why people come to Duke."
yeah,
So I said, and this I didn't just say this for the interview. I actually believe this.
yeah,
So, with in schools like MIT and in schools that are just known for CS, you'll notice one of two things: either the CS program will be in the engineering school, or
yeah,
it'll be in a school of computer science, like a separate school itself.
yeah.
So I don't like that because first of all, I don't think a CS of engineering at all. Like I get mad whenever my dad calls it engineering because CS computer actually having done computer science,
Yeah,
I know it's completely different from engineering. I mean, there are similarities, of course, but
yeah,
it's a completely different field, and to generalize it is kind of insulting to the field and all the people who are in the field. So I don't like having to think of it as engineering, and I think computer scientists are very different individuals from most engineers because most engineers, in the Indian sense, you'll see are the IIT ones, the
I
CBSE ones, like.
business units.
And I don't mean to like say that's a bad option or anything, but that's like they're different people. And as for me, I think I like to consider myself a different individual from them. Duke, for once, like they have computer science in their Trinity School of Arts and Sciences, so they consider it a science, which is what I was like, okay, finally, one university that considers it a science. And then I read
Science.
about why they consider it a science, and a lot of that actually made sense to me, and it spoke out to me. And from then, I was like, okay, maybe Duke. And then I kept reading about Duke, and I kept researching about Duke, and the more I read about it, the more it seemed like a great first choice. The other thing is ki when you are in a school like the Trinity School of Arts and Sciences, I'm
Yeah,
going to be studying computer science while having some people in my classes from maybe an English major or a philosophy major or a history major or a like any Egyptology major. Like
yeah,
all the majors are going to be together, so I'm going to have exposure from lots of different people. I won't be stuck around the same mindsets. I won't be stuck like in MIT. What happens is you're surrounded by all people who are exactly like yourself, like copies of
yeah,
yourself basically.
yeah,
That's what happens in these like upper echelon computer science schools, which is I don't think is a very stimulating condition for growth, right? So
yeah.
surrounded by different people, different perspectives, I'll make friends from different who study different things. That'll help me out in life later as well with connections, and it'll also help me grow as a person.
Yeah, it's a unique perspective. I love that. And Aditya, what about like financial aid? How much financial aid? Yeah, zero. You got zero financial aid. Okay, so you applied as a without financial aid,
Yeah,
right?
I applied it out. So I thought about this as well. It's not like I don't need financial aid. Matlab 80,000 a year, to
Yeah,
uh, yeah. So but the thing was, I looked at Duke statistics, their common data set, which is also another great tip for anyone who's researching colleges right now. Just search your college name and search CDS. इतनी information मिलेगी ना, मतलब essays में भी help करेगी, research में भी help, सब में help करेगी. So I looked at Duke का common data set, and उसमें they haven't like their financial aid numbers for international students have been going down because एक कोई Carolinas का act आया, which means they have to get full aid to every Carolina citizen and all. और दो तीन और चीज़ें हुई हैं, सो बेसिकली उनका यूएस का एड बहुत बढ़ गया और इंटरनेशनल एड एकदम नीचे आ गया. सो
yeah,
मैंने सोचा एड के साथ अप्लाई करूंगा तो कोई चांस ही नहीं है. एंड तो मैंने बिना एड के किया, एंड या आई गॉट इन. एंड as by the admission numbers they've posted, 64 people have gotten in internationally. Two of them have gotten financial aid.
Oh my
So
God. Okay, so yeah, so I think you are from rich family background, so you can pay $80,000. Yeah. So first of all, I have another question. How many universities you applied for, and in how many universities you got into? Yeah, simple question.
I applied to Duke, Georgia Tech, UIUC, and Purdue, and the California universities. I have only gotten into Duke.
Okay, you applied into five universities and you got into
Yeah,
one
yeah.
university.
Baki to ab I've withdrawn my applications because I'm already enrolled in Duke. But yeah, Duke was my first acceptance. उससे पहले मेरे को कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आया था.
Yeah, so amazing. And I think, first of all, congratulations for Duke again. And yeah, Duke have different kind of culture. I think I believe that you will enjoy the culture and experience. Everything is perfect, and yeah, it's like quite competitive for international students. But yeah,
Hmm.
you will manage. And what about AP exams? Any AP exam?
No, I haven't given AP exams because again, IB में I don't think you need to give AP exams.
Yeah,
If you like, you can try to give AP exams. Like, अगर IB
it's
students के लिए I
optional.
want to give a tip, then I'd say
Yeah,
कि only give AP exams if you want to show uh, for if only give AP exams for a subject you don't have in the IB. If your school doesn't offer it or if you didn't take it up, then maybe
yeah,
give an AP exam. Like I know one of my classmates who is a philosophy major, but my school doesn't offer philosophy in IB, so he gave a philosophy AP exam, which is a good choice because then you can show the university that you're committed to your subject, and you can show them ki yeah I am good at my subject. But if I'm already doing CSHL in IB and I'm already getting a 7 in it, an AP exam is going to change nothing for the university. So you
yeah.
don't like I would say rather like spend your time somewhere else, make your ECs better, your essays better.
And what about Delhi? Like you are in Delhi, so like I know mostly students from Delhi they are applying to top universities, Haryana, then uske baad Punjab. Many students, but mostly students from Delhi who are applying to top universities. They are focusing on top universities compared to other states. So what about your experience in Delhi, your friends, and your like surroundings?
So I think Delhi का again मैं यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं रहा हूँ because COVID then boarding
Yeah,
school. But जितना रहा हूँ, I think Delhi is, I mean, of course, it's the capital of India. It's the मतलब, place every international visitor to India is definitely gonna come to, and it's the most known city in India. So, दिल्ली में it's like जिसको भी ये हमारे टाइम से नहीं, हमारे पिछले जनरेशन से भी यही हो रहा है. जिसको भी कुछ बड़ा करना है, everyone came to Delhi, right? पहले यूपीएससी देना है, लोग पढ़ने के लिए दिल्ली आते हैं. आईआईटी
yeah,
करना है, लोग पढ़ने के लिए कोटा जाते हैं, बट काफी दिल्ली भी आ जाते थे उसके लिए, आईआईटी जे के लिए और उस सब के लिए. तो
yeah,
लाइक दिल्ली कुछ भी आपको पढ़ के कुछ करना है तो लोग दिल्ली आते रहते थे. तो आई थिंक अभी भी वही है, बस दैट्स शिफ्टेड टू यूएस में
yeah.
पढ़ना है, यूके में पढ़ना है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में पढ़ना है. सो
Okay.
पीपल कम टू दिल्ली बिकॉज इट सीम्स लाइक द गेटवे टू like all your further education dreams.
Yeah, and are you believing on a concept 2 or 3 years ago? Mostly students are focusing on IIT, JEE, NEET, or stuff like that, other exams. But now the roadmap is continuously changing. They are focusing on abroad study, top universities rather than IIT, JEE, NEET. So are you believing that? Yeah, it's true. And in next 2 3 years, mostly students will apply to other countries, top universities rather than IIT, JEE. Are you believing on that?
So I definitely think कि more people are applying internationally now, much more than पहले. But I don't think it's gonna change कि most of the people in from India are gonna apply internationally. No, most people are still gonna apply domestically because
Yeah,
applying internationally is still very limited financially and even like opportunity wise to to the upper echelon of people here, like
yeah,
top 10% I'd say, and maybe I'm wrong on that. But बहुत कम लोग हैं जो actually who can afford this and who can मतलब who even know about कि okay this is an option for us. Like
yeah,
अगर आप if you go to a smaller town, if you go to a smaller if you go to a village, people don't even know about these universities. They
yeah,
know Indian universities only, and that's why they're gonna apply. And the thing is with the new universities like Ashoka and OP Jindal, like they are bringing the American culture of
yeah.
American education system to India as well. So that's also a good option. If you can't financially afford it, but you still want to experience that or you still feel that's a good option, then yeah, these are the universities for you.
You are completely right. But there is a main factor which is affordability. If they can afford, then yeah, maybe the number will increase. But there is, you can say that barrier of financial aid, financial condition. So yeah, in future this will be the same. But yeah, like according to me, the number of abroad applying students they will definitely increase drastically. And Aditya, what about your future goals? Apply as a transfer student to MIT, And any future goals? Not that.
अंडर ग्रेजुएट तो अब मैं ड्यूक से ही करूंगा, दैट्स pretty much set for me.
Yeah,
Because मैं सिर्फ इंटरव्यू के लिए नहीं बोला था वो मैंने एक्चुअली व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड रिसर्चिंग अबाउट ड्यूक, आई genuinely do feel कि it's a better option than a CS
yeah,
closed off school, because it's gonna set me up better for life.
yeah,
Post graduate I haven't thought about yet. Duke से CS का post graduate तो is not very good.
yeah,
Maybe I might do a business graduate from Duke. Fuqua is very good.
yeah,
So if I do a postgrad, then if from Duke, then it's probably going to be in business. But I might do a CS one from somewhere else that I haven't decided yet, or I might not even do a postgrad. I might start working. So as for my goals in like game development has always been kind of interesting to me, but I didn't want to limit that myself to that. So that's why I didn't go for a major in
yeah,
game design. I went for major in computer science because that opens it up for me. I can do game development, but I can also do something else. I want to explore सबसे पहले तो निकल के when I join the industry, I'm gonna do jobs
yeah,
in like yeah, I might join a big company and then switch around from department to department to actually see which like what you know what do I enjoy, what excites me, what
yeah.
makes me want to work towards something, what makes me want to contribute to something.
Yeah, means
So when I
like,
find that out, yeah, so
yeah,
when
you
I
want
find
to,
that out, that's when I'm gonna go further in that specific department or the specific field. And I mean, Tim Cook is a Duke alumni, so वहां तक पहुंच गए तो बस.
yeah, amazing. And like you are focusing on following your passion, not just like so-called world and like stuff. Okay, so amazing, amazing, Aditya. And any tips or any advice for all students who are watching this interview? Any advice?
I think मैंने काफी तो दे ही दी है, but again,
Yeah,
just to reiterate, be yourself. मतलब even if someone is telling you no, try to convince them. मतलब try to क्या मतलब you do convince them. You be yourself,
yeah,
you show yourself, and just again don't go by rankings or anything. Do your own research, figure your own stuff out. जैसे मैंने
exactly.
ड्यूब के साथ किया, looking at the rankings, I didn't think it was worth the first choice, but then researching about it, reading about their philosophy, reading about their ethos. Now I'm in love with the school, and like I can't believe I'm actually going next year. So
Okay.
read about the school, read like learn about yourself, figure out what you want from university first. But it's because university is not a end; it's a means to an end, right?
Yeah,
It's like it's something that's gonna start your life. It's not the end,
yeah,
right? So because that's something I think many students uh, दिमाग में बना लेते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी घुसना है, बट उसके बाद क्या?
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So like
Yeah,
figure out what you want from university, figure out how what you want from like later life, and then figure out which university is the best choice for you. And CDS please use करो. कितने कम लोग use करते हैं, कितना फायदा होता है. Common
yeah.
data sets मतलब amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm agree with you. And according to me, I think your journey is started. Like when you
Yeah.
got into Duke, it's another. You can say that another page of your life or journey. Anything about CTS?
I think actually मैंने आपकी एक वीडियो तो देखी हुई है. I think it was someone who got into Dartmouth. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah,
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 last 2 years में से किसी की है. I just
yeah,
recognized because of your hoodie. उससे पहले तो I didn't मतलब realize, but you're wearing the
yeah,
same hoodie in the video and you were interviewing someone from Dartmouth, so I looked at that. But yeah, I think what you're doing is really great. You're helping people. You're gonna help students, and this is a very confusing process. Thankfully, I got through without much external help. But
yeah,
if someone can get external help, then great. Yeah, of course they should get this.
yeah.
This is gonna
Thank
benefit people.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Aditya, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your experience and guidance and everything. So, thank you, Aditya, for joining me in this session and guiding to all our students. So, let's cross
Thank
the
you
sky
as well.
limit.
Let's
Yeah,
cross the sky limits, guys.
yeah. Thank you. Bye bye, Aditya.